Hi everyone, and welcome to my very first podcast today on my Heart of Practice. Thank you for joining me as I want to share with you my personal yoga practice, which is a very different one, I admit, since it is a practice of deeper understanding and one that moves you from the inside. This podcast is something really new and different for me. It feels even a bit awkward. As you can see, you can't see me and I can't see you. But this is not an accident. It is meant to be like this, as I want to invite you to a maybe different approach as you are used to your own practice. Or if you are a beginner, an even completely new and different way of starting a yoga practice. My intention behind this is definitely less doing, and therefore I have chosen the not seeing. This still might seem very strange to you, and I felt the same when this idea popped up, I have to admit, but it ever since felt so right that, here I am now with you sharing my practice. So once again, thank you so much for being here today with me as we take a look at the first 2 out of 7 vital principles that are known as the so-called good habits of your yoga practice. The ones that should be applied at all times throughout our practice. And the first 2 we are going to take a closer look upon today are the relaxing of the body and the quieting of the mind. Before we get into my podcast, I just want to mention, if what I'm about to share with you resonates with you and gives you something that lightens up your own yoga practice, please make sure that you like my video as well as to subscribe to my channel so that you will never miss a next one. And please feel free to share with anyone you might know that would be also grateful for a different approach on his or her own yoga journey. My aim as a practitioner of that practice from the inside, which is also called Vijñāna Yoga, is not to achieve necessarily the final posture, but instead understanding how to approach to the posture. It is really about understanding step by step how to get there until finally or suddenly the posture unfolds itself to me. What makes this practice, the practice of Vijñāna Yoga, so different from all other practices is the working with the 7 vital principles. We're going to talk about this today. It is an additional attention to the 10 Vayus. The 10 Vayus are the so-called inner and outer spaces of the body, which are practiced in breathing techniques, and definitely the study of yogic texts, which offers you an even deeper understanding from a different perspective to where all yoga comes from, including the tremendous wisdom and spiritual knowledge of thousands of years of yoga practice. So those texts, those yogic texts, for me, it's always so amazing because they still have so very much to do with our life nowadays. They are so very much present, reflecting really our life situations today and how to deal with it. And that for me is or has become really a life guidance. So to start with the 2 out of 7 vital principles, I invite you to sit in a comfortable position. wherever that might be for you. If you are a yoga practitioner, you might have your corner where you used to practice. If not, try to find a place where you feel comfortable and can be seated in a comfortable position. Make sure that your sitting bones are resting on the ground, or maybe on a cushion or on a folded blanket. Your knees should not be higher than your hip bones if you are sitting crossed legs. Your back is effortlessly erect and at ease. It's a wide back. Your neck is long. The eyes as well as the mouth are closed gently. And watch your natural breath. Breathing exclusively through your nose. And remember, by doing this, there is no right and there is no wrong. Feel that the weight sinks down, so you feel more the touch of your sitting bones on whatever you are sitting on or on your mat. Watch your breathing, breathing in, breathing out. Maybe you are aware of that little retention that there is every time when we inhale. The breath itself takes a moment before it then breathes out. And again, after exhaling, after breathing out, there is once again just a second where it seems the breath stops, settles down before it starts over again. And when you do this, you might feel that there is not really very much thinking when you do that. So watching your breath and thinking at the same time is somehow impossible. And maybe when you are sitting now, you feel already that you calm down. And this is already the beginning of the first, and I would almost say the most important vital principle. It's not for nothing that it is the first one, that you really feel a kind of arriving, a state of relaxation, a state of where you can feel that you do as little as possible while you are performing, because you are sitting, right? That is a position, a sitting position. So you are not doing nothing, but you do as little as possible. And it makes sense to me that all the other 6 vital principles then somehow build up on this one. So for me, the relaxation of the body is like, if you imagine a house, you have to have a good foundation. So relaxing the body, really, you rely on that in your practice. It is something you always come back to. You always come back to. You may lose it on your way while practicing, but then you come back to it. So it is good when you feel right now that you are relaxed, try to, in a computer, I would say, do it as safe as. Try to save that kind of feeling, being relaxed, so that whenever you are in another kind of practice, you can go back to that saved as moment of relaxation, because this is where we always want to go back to. So the posture should be pleasant and stable. Relaxing is not collapsing. And this is why when you sit now, you feel the sitting bones resting on the ground, and you have your back erected, right? Effortlessly, but you're not hanging in there. So it is really relaxing here means letting the weight sink down. And a lot of times, and the ones that are practicing might feel the same as to me in my own practice. I'm still very, very often caught by not relaxing when I'm striving to reach a certain perfection in this or that pose, because I'm just human and I've got an ego, and sometimes my ego just runs with me and wants me to get into that pose. Then really I catch myself by believing and thinking and almost being convinced that there is no other way to achieve the posture, even though I know it is not about reaching the final posture. But sometimes it just happens that I really truly believe that I have to put a lot of doing, a lot of effort in it, and then afterwards I can relax. So really, my mind is doing the opposite of what I am supposed to do. I should relax first, and then understanding the posture, step by step, the posture, itself unfolds to me, right? And it is not about me putting a lot of effort in it, getting there, and then it's time to relax. So this happens, but it's nice because when we're aware of this, then we just stop. We just stop and somehow get out of the film, and then we go back again. Go back to that feeling of, okay, this is being relaxed. And it is not about, really going to that final posture. It is understanding the posture step by step, always coming back to feeling stable and pleasant. And then today or not today, the posture may unfold itself to you. But if not, it doesn't matter. But the first vital principle, the one that should be a good habit in your practice, is there. And that for me is more important. Yeah, so it is a process of acknowledging. It is something that not falls easily into your own practice, I have to admit. When you come from other yoga practices, it might be even more difficult. But I truly believe that yoga can be performed without that much of effort. So now when we're talking about relaxing the body, and you have been doing this, I'm quite sure, you inhale, and with every exhalation, you try to release any tension that might have been or that still might be in your body. So inhaling, you kind of scan your body from the top to the bottom and from the bottom upwards. And whenever you feel there is gripping or tension, next exhalation, you try to relax. Inhale, exhale, and really see Maybe there isn't any tension left, but if so, just go there with your breathing and exhaling, try to make it less. So this is something that in your own practice, you can then keep on doing. And what's so nice is by doing that, you once again might realize or might be aware of that the mind actually is not thinking in a way of thinking the usual thoughts, but the mind is really thinking good thoughts, I would say. So you are looking at the body, and the only worry of the mind right now is your body. So your body, it's like a mother or a father watching over your body. And this with time gets easier, obviously. You can more easily observe tense areas, you can more easily release tension, and then you feel that space. When the tension is released, you can embrace that space, and areas of weakness, for example, you can more easily notice them, and then instead of exhaling, you inhale all the energy that is needed to fill up that weak space with all the courage or happiness or joy you might feel is needed there. So somehow by exhaling, every excess leaves the body, the heaviness, the tension, everything that is not needed in order for you to relax leaves the body. And by inhaling, you kind of inhale the energy that might be missing, needed, the courage, whatever you feel that is missing. And in this way, the body becomes stable and quiet and relaxed. So a relaxed body is nothing more, nothing less than a stable and quiet body. And this is the aim, this is the first vital principle to be applied. Yes, and that's quite a bit. To master it needs discipline and a certain regular practice, a certain devotion to it. You really have to want to do it, obviously. The next one, the second one, we are going to talk today about and hopefully feel it, because you're still sitting, right? I hope the first one, the relaxing of the body, you could follow my words and kind of feel what I was trying to transmit. The second one is the quieting of the mind. And maybe you're already aware of how much easier it is now, since we have worked on the relaxing of the body, now trying to get our mind more calm. And maybe you have realized already that just by putting all our awareness on the breathing, that it is really hard, almost impossible to think at the same time. So that's a really good thing to do when you want to quiet your mind, just to be aware of your breathing. So still sitting on your mat, by quieting the mind, having your eyes still closed and the mouth as well, and breathing gently through your nose, same. We somehow now distance ourselves from all our responsibilities, from everything that we usually react to. So it is like really being in a bubble, and we are in it. And now even our eyes that are closed, they somehow look inward. And we catch our inner mood. We ask ourselves how we are doing. What is our state of mind? And whatever comes up, whether we are focused, dispersed, or nervous, happy, sad, or angry, whether we are afraid, tired, energetic, whatever comes up, we just accept what is. Because it is ours. It is in us. It's part of us. And our duty here is simply to accept. And by observing ourselves, really looking inwardly, maybe not today, but if you practice that regularly, there is a certain inner silence that comes up because there is just you and you. If you're not very much used to it, maybe that's the first time you even sit on a mat today, try with each inhalation to hold your breath for as long as you can, and at the same time try to count your thoughts. Why? I just want you to be aware of the close connection that there is between the functioning of the mind and the functioning of the breathing. Because without breathing, it is really difficult to think. And the mind automatically slows down. So there is really a very close and deep connection between mind and breathing. And it is not out of nothing that it is said when the breath moves, the mind moves. And therefore, by controlling the breath, the yogi arrives at stability of the mind. So this is then another topic for another day. But to quiet your mind, it is a very good practice to be aware of your breathing, because when you breathe, you don't think. You control your mind because you're so much aware of your breathing. You concentrate so much that there is no other thought that arises. So just try that. You inhale, and if you are a more advanced practitioner, you maybe just, obviously you don't have to hold your breath anymore and count your thoughts. You can just, by inhaling, let the eyes sink deeper into the back of the head. But if you're not a yoga practitioner, then you just inhale again and really try to feel that connection between mind and breath. Hold your breath for as long as you can and try at the same time to count your thoughts. And try to feel how difficult this is, how difficult it turns out to think, and how automatically the mind slows down. And it's nice, huh? It's nice because you feel that you really are empowered. You have the power to control your mind. And maybe until today, you always thought there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing can stop your mind, but that's not true. So you are really in control of your mind if that is your choice. And for yoga practice, because the second vital principle, the quieting of the mind, is another good habit which should be applied in our yoga practice. Why? Because an empty mind intensifies itself in practice. So when you already have your mind more quiet, it even gets better, I would say, in practice. So I think that is very nice. Yes. Relaxing the body, quieting the mind. Thank you so much for your interest for today. And I hope my words and my way of practicing worked out for you and gave you some insight on your own yoga practice. If so, once again, please make sure that you like my video, subscribe to my channel, share it. If you would like to practice with me in person, just click on the link to my website, alllifeisyoga.com, and look for upcoming events and ongoing classes on the beach and in the studio. Or maybe you want to schedule a private class. Perfect. Today was a beginning, a new beginning of my yoga adventure. I will be posting regularly more podcasts and videos on behalf of my own Vijñāna Yoga practice and everything that moves my heart around it. So please stay tuned. And once again, thank you so much for your time and energy. Take care of yourself. Keep on moving forward wherever you are on your life journey. Yoga is the union of the seer, the one who sees, and the seen, everything that we can see. It is a continuously meeting of one with another, guided by good habits and devotion. Lots of light to you out there, and take care of yourself. See you next time. Bye for now.